I had no clue before we filmed this, before we recorded this. I had no clue that you had won first place in a Star Wars trivia amongst 200 other people, or I would have not questioned you on Star Wars.
I keep that in my back pocket at all
So
times.
that's your secret to picking up ladies. Hey, did you know?
Yeah, you're sitting with a champ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
You want to see this keychain I won?
It's Millennium Falcon. Diddly diddly.
Check
I'm
out.
at the.
Hey, ladies, check out my trophy.
Oh,
what is that?
hold on, Joe. Hold on. I'm gonna soak this in. I know something that Kevin doesn't. Uh,
No, what is that?
the Aces are the Las Vegas baseball team. Am I right, Joe?
Oh, I don't know, but it sounds it
Oh,
sounds right.
because Oakland's going to go there. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
went from the A's to
they're
the
gonna
Aces,
go there. Yeah.
and
I
now
didn't know they had a name yet, but that
Yeah,
makes
no,
sense.
he's right. The Las Vegas Aces is the WNBA team. Wow.
oh shit,
Oh, well, we're way
I
off.
was close.
None of us
I
knew
was
that.
real fucking close. About the same amount of people are gonna watch it.
But I mean, Las Vegas Aces is a good name for Vegas. Like somebody had to
That's
use
what I said. I thought that
somebody
was the
had to use
coolest
it.
name
I just
ever.
assumed like that to me that sounds like a minor league team name, but
Are
it's
you sure?
WNBA. We are Locker Room Junkies. I am Joe. These two sexy guys that are with me are members of the Thunder from Down Under, Kevin and James. Two sexy guys.
Thank you.
Uh, I'm
Compliment.
James.
Well, this
Yes, yeah, that would make me Kevin for
that
sure.
would make you Kevin. Me,
I'm sure
Joe.
you can't notice with my name right here.
At least they can. Well, actually, that's at least
Dilly
they can
dilly.
pronounce yours. They probably can't pronounce mine, but they probably can't pronounce yours
Ooh,
right
that's a
either.
good. That'd be a fun game. How many people could pronounce mine versus how many could pronounce yours?
Yeah, I bet we split, or even Joe's, to be honest.
Yeah, you have
Ooh,
no idea. A lot of people mispronounce my name probably
Joe
80%
Cough.
of the time. I get a lot of
There,
kloofs. Every once in a while, somebody gets it. I'm like impressed because I most people don't get it.
yeah.
But all right, so this is episode 2. We have come to the end of the preseason for NFL, and
Thankfully. Oh
we
man.
kind of move forward and get ready for the regular season coming up. Just a little over a week away at this point.
Well, yeah, less actually if you count Thursday, that first game,
Yeah, that's true.
Chiefs and Ravens.
That's the first game. The NFL does spoil us a lot because the Chief and Raiders is a pretty sweet matchup.
Yeah, what's the guy? So yeah, so I mean, it's going to be weird because it's going to be seeing Derrick Henry in purple, so that's going to be,
Yeah,
you know,
and that's weird from a
tough.
Titans perspective.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
a way to
weird.
break in a new, year is to see him in a different uniform is depressing. Did you see that video of Jeffrey Simmons coming out of the tunnel? You seen
Uh,
that one?
I actually didn't see. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't watched the video. But I
It
saw
was
it.
sad. It
Yeah,
was sad. Yeah, he was, he was, I don't know how legit he was, but he was really trying to, do his little handshake stuff. And he turns over and looks and he's like, oh man, it's not real. Like, yeah,
yeah,
we were all very sad about that. And then, but I guess I get it. So, but yeah, man. So yeah, I'm glad it's over though. I
yeah,
try. I get to where I try to watch other games. I can watch other NFL games all year, but when it's preseason, Titans are the only thing I can watch.
yeah. If you don't have like a real interest in the team, it's hard to watch because I mean
It really
you're
is.
just kind of just watching for guys that are fighting for roster spots. Scores mean absolutely nothing. It's like that show, Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points don't matter because the scores don't
Yeah.
mean shit. The win loss don't mean shit. I mean, and the only good thing that I guess comes now is everybody had to make the cuts on their teams.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
final rosters are set, so that's good.
I'm ready for the season. I mean, the college we got, I mean, we had college this past, weekend. Barely, right? We had the Florida State Georgia Tech, which
That
yeah,
was a
it
big
was. Yeah, I didn't get to watch it, but it was a good one. From what I gather, and I got to watch the final kick, or whatever. But
yeah.
uh, it's good to have the preseason over because man, I'm ready for the NFL. I'm ready for regular season because that shit I can watch all day.
Yeah. It'll be here. It'll be here. But this we're recording Friday now, so going into Saturday will be a pretty big weekend though. Labor
Mm-hmm.
Day weekend, you get a games all the way through Monday, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, we get all the Vols posts about them gonna, win it all. We get all that tomorrow
Yeah,
too.
it's football
Remember,
time in Tennessee, everybody.
assuming, oh yeah, yeah, and then touchdown Vols. I can't wait to see them all. Which I love the Vols, but
Yeah.
fan base can be excessive.
We're
Um,
gonna we're gonna touch on the Vols today. We're gonna touch on the Vols some today because I've been looking over their schedule, and I think it's time for the Vols to show up if they're going to be a legit team.
well, they showed up with Hendon Hooker last time, and that that was good 2 years ago. And then he got injured in the South Carolina game. We don't want to talk about it. I mean, whatever. South Carolina was the playoff killer that year. Took Tennessee out, and the next week took Clemson out, and then they made us play each other to see who was better of the two. They got upset by South Carolina, which was awful. But that was nice to see us beat Clemson
Let's
really
not
bad
get
that
let's
game.
not get too far. James, I know you're excited that final rosters are been set, and now it's time to get ready. And every NFL player that was holding out to get bigger contracts either got their contract or they've showed up for practice because they want money. So all that news is done. I don't know why we dwell on it for so long because they're going to show up for camp at the end like they always do.
Yeah.
No, they get their contract, whatever. Titans released a former first round pick on their final roster. I guess that shouldn't be a surprise though.
No, no surprise. They made a couple I say shocking moves. I mean, there's really no surprises on their roster that I was looking. I got it pulled up right here, and I can't see much that I was shocked about. All of it made sense. I mean, I was kind of shocked they traded Malik Willis.
Yeah, well, I'll say we were talking about Malik Willis last episode and how good he's been playing, and they were able to get a draft pick for him. So that's pretty good. That tells you that he was improving on the field.
Yeah, I mean, they got a draft pick for him, which was good. I mean, they made some moves, some roster cuts. I think their best move though was I don't know if they traded for Ernest Jones, the linebacker from the Rams. You see
Yeah,
that?
because that's something the Titans needed too. There's a lot of question marks on defense, and that helps definitely answer some
Yeah,
questions that they're going to have.
yeah, and he's I mean he's not like he was his rankings he was his run defense is really good. He actually had the most pressures out of all the linebackers last year at
Yeah,
37. Um, he was ranked sixth by Pro Football Focus on run defense. Now his pass defense is no good. Supposedly, I mean, at 57.5, which was he was 14th lowest at his
yeah.
position. So,
Okay.
and that's in pass coverage. But also the guy they got Kenneth Murray this offseason, he's also was one of the lower ones in pass coverage too. So it looks like pass coverage is going to be an issue around that 10-yard range or something for the linebackers.
Yeah,
But
probably
it's a
lacking
good
some
move.
speed there to get the coverage.
Yeah, but I guess they got plenty of safety, so they can bring one of them guys down the box.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so that's it. But that was the best move I think they made for sure after all these cuts happened, and they went and traded for him, which they got him for nothing.
Yeah,
They
that's the thing
traded.
is they got him a good deal. I gotta say, Rand Carthon's doing a pretty good job coming into the Titans so far. I mean, you can't really complain with anything he's done.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, J Rob, I don't think was good. His first round picks. I mean, like he had a few. I don't really want to say like Simmons was a sleeper. Simmons was good. He just fell
yeah.
because of his the history that came with him.
He had like four like not just good. He had like four amazing picks,
Yeah,
and then everything else was just not awful.
yeah,
Well, maybe not awful, but he had a lot of bad ones. And his first round picks were like, he back to back years. It was Simmons. It was the tackle, not Simmons. It was that tackle. I can't remember. Isaiah Wilson, and then it was Caleb Farley in back to back years. And
yeah.
Farley may have been good, and hopefully, he will be wherever he goes. But
The
yeah,
tackle was that the one
bad.
from Georgia that really never even played because he just kept getting in trouble.
But yeah, and he started rapping too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was that one. That
That's
was that one.
yeah. I mean, your first round picks. I mean, got to speak volume to your GM. I think to a certain degree.
Yeah,
when you have that many bad ones. So
yeah, and I mean, but he had AJ Brown and Jeffrey Simmons, and then
it
traded
did yeah.
traded AJ Brown for
And then
well,
well, that's why he's not here. That's because of it.
yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get fired that day. If you could have saw the look on Vrabel's face, he would look like he was ready to explode um,
He
out of anger.
he got a lot of praise for drafting him, but then fucked up sending him away.
Yeah, which we hope Traylon Burks will replace him. It's been 3 years, but we're
This is
still waiting.
this is Burke's year too, I think, for him to show up. Because the
Yeah,
Titans offense is gonna be I'm not gonna say it's must watch TV, but looking at it from a Titans, like not my favorite team, but actually a good fan of the team perspective, it's gonna be cool to watch a team that you think is gonna have some offense because they've been lacking it, you know.
yeah. I'm excited to see him throw the ball. I'm excited. I think this is the year we have our first 4,000-yard passer.
Yeah.
Seriously,
A
I
lot of
mean,
excitement. It's a lot of unknown, but it's also a lot of excitement because I think they can be kind of more offense than you've ever seen. If you look at their receiver room, it's actually kind of nuts how good it is if you actually break it down.
yep, Burks is the fourth guy on the chart. I mean,
Mhm.
that's where it's at. And then he hasn't proven himself yet, but I mean, he's a first round pick and he's got high upside potential. And if he stays healthy and plays to his potential, I mean, like we said, he's going to be a top tier receiver. He's top 25. I would think if he plays at his potential. Now, I don't think he's going to get a chance with all the weapons they got, but I mean,
Yeah.
he shows up and does what he's supposed to do. I mean, he'll make 2 or 3 explosive plays a game. That's great.
Well, I mean, it'd be a legit chance for him to show out because I mean, Calvin really is going to be drawing more attention.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Hopkins is going to be drawing more attention. So I mean, that third or fourth receivers should shine to some degree if they can. So
Yep. That's true. That's true. But yeah, that's it. For final roster moves, I think Titans are in a much better spot. I think they made some strong moves. I don't know. I didn't get to see what the Bucks did. I don't know if they did much of anything.
Bucks really did nothing surprising came out of the Bucks end. You're going to be looking at basically the same team as last year. Lost a couple people, so really not much to talk about with the Bucks. It's going to be just show up and try to win the NFC South again. That's really it for the Bucks, which is a doable. And that conference,
Mm-hmm.
that conference is up for grabs completely. I think like that out of that whole conference, Atlanta made the most moves this offseason,
They did.
obviously with Cousins and all the recent moves they just made. So the Bucks really just need to show up and try to win the South. That's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. That should be their first go. Not thinking Super Bowl, just thinking win NFC South.
Yeah, get a playoff home game. Whatever. Right. See
Yeah,
what happens. You never know. Maybe maybe good things happen for them.
maybe something goes your way. If you stumble into the Super Bowl, that would be a winning season for the Bucks. I think just getting to the playoffs is keeping them on track though. So that's really my mindset for the Bucks.
What about a wild card? Do you think they can get a wild card in the NFC?
I don't know. I think it's possible. I
Division
think
or bust for the NFC South? Do you think they can have multiple teams in the playoffs this year?
I think if I'm looking at any division in the seed, that's the one I think doesn't have a chance to have multiple teams in it this year.
Yeah.
Um, damn, James, you're turning me on. But
What? Oh, I got out of pocket.
no,
Back in the pocket.
no, you didn't have to stop. You definitely didn't have to do that.
Actually, James, we're about to get you on some. We're going to do some trivia, aren't we?
Yes, this has been
I'm good at this.
requested from all 2 German viewers that are listening right now. Shout out to
Guten
you guys.
Tag. Guten Tag to our German
Shout
viewers.
out to
We
you
appreciate
guys.
you.
I
So I
also
get it.
appreciate y'all for Oktoberfest. It's my favorite time of the year to drink beer because Oktoberfest is here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, all those leafy flavored beers
Hmm.
and the pumpkin ones.
Shout out
That's
to
it.
German. All right, James. Are you ready for James Knows Best?
Is that what we're calling this segment?
I have no idea, but that's what we're going to go with today. We're going to start you off with a sports trivia, James.
I'm gonna make y'all uncomfortable with how easy this is for me.
All right. We were just talking about the NFC South.
I
So
wasn't listening.
you obviously in the NFL, there's an NFC and an AFC. There's two difference.
Got it.
I just want you to name three teams that are in the NFC, not the AFC.
Ah.
We just
All right.
talked about one of them. I'll give you
Whoops. All right, y'all. We're talking about the Titans a lot,
that is incorrect.
so I wasn't gonna say that. So I need to name some.
Just three teams. Just
Three
fun-
teams.
three teams in the NFC.
But we can't say just say the
NFC, okay.
cities. Yeah, you got to at least say the mascot. So
All right,
or team name
Krakens.
rather. Okay,
Krakens.
Krakens.
Okay, that's
That's
one.
one.
Charlotte Bees.
The Bees. That's two. You're almost there.
Las Vegas Aces.
The Las Vegas Aces.
Next question.
Those are all incorrect. None of those
Are
Some of
you
those are-
sure?
aren't even this. None of those are actually an NFL team.
Because
So,
no, that can't be true.
but
Okay.
they're all good.
The
teams.
Browns. Hey. The
Hey,
Browns.
there you go. That's a team.
Browns? That's a team in the
In
AFC.
the NFC.
In the AFC, but it is a team. You're on
It is
track
team.
now. You can name three teams. Come on, you've got this. James
Yep. Hit me.
and Star Wars. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Who defeated Darth Maul? In
Which time?
In episode 1.
I know that one.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
I
Hey,
go.
you know what it
I
is.
say no. Yeah, it was
What
Qui-Gon.
were you gonna say, Kevin?
I was
Say
gonna say
it. What were you
Qui-Gon.
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 See?
Dumb
James,
son of a
you knew
bitch.
that one.
It was not
Darth
Qui-Gon,
Maul.
you
Darth Maul
moron.
is the
I was
best
wrong.
villain. in
Oh
Star
my
Wars.
god.
Well, you knocked that one out of the park really quick. Definitely wasn't the Krakens. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Which team did the Oakland Raiders move to? Is it? I'm gonna give you A, B, C, D here.
There we go.
I'm gonna make this easier for you. Is it A, Cincinnati, B, Toronto, C, Las Vegas, D, Los Angeles?
Okay. What was B again?
B was Toronto.
No, it's not that. That's the Blue Jays. C you said was Las Vegas.
C is Vegas, D is Los Angeles, and A is Cincinnati.
Las Vegas.
That is correct. You got
That's
that.
correct.
You got that one. Okay.
Ah, yeah. With like a 75% chance.
Well, you got it.
I was
All
right
right,
about the
you're on
Blue
a
Jays,
roll.
though.
You're on a roll. That's 2 in a row.
2 in a row. All
Get
right,
it,
Jane.
girlfriend.
In Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe, we know who Luke Skywalker's father is, but who is his mother?
Are you serious?
I couldn't tell you who his mother was.
Kevin, do you know who his mother is?
I remember seeing her in the movie when the little Anakin. No, that's Anakin. See, I'm already confused. I don't know. Oh, wait. Yes, I know that.
Do
His
you?
mom. Do I? Luke?
No, you don't. It's
Luke's
Padme.
good.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
They're
would have
both
never
dumb
guessed that.
bastards.
We all know who his father is because it's a famous line, but I don't know who his mom was at all. And had no clue.
Well, depending on okay, yeah, we're not going to go into it, but it is Padme. But
That's good. I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
because
I like
that was Anakin's entire love interest for the whole first trilogy. Well, not the first trilogy. The first trilogy was 4, 5, and 6, the Holy Trilogy. But episodes 1, 2, and 3, the prequel trilogy, those were the ones where obviously Natalie Portman and the little child Jake Lloyd fell in love together.
Shout out to Natalie Portman if you want to be
sponsor.
a
Be a
sponsor or a guest on our
Just a
show.
guest, really.
I loved you in Your Highness, Natalie Portman.
So just have your
Yeah,
people talk to our people.
the
We'll
peak
set
of
it
her
up.
career was Your Highness with Danny McBride. Every
That was-
interview, she brings up that movie.
That's they roll out the red carpet because that's where your life changed. Natalie Portman. All right. Well, James knows too much Star Wars trivia. James, what is this is going to be another A, B, C, or D? What is Oregon's mascot? Is it A, the bulls, B, a giant oak tree, C, the Trojans, or D, the ducks?
Okay, hang on. You said Oregon's mascot. Do we mean like their state tree? What's on their flag?
No, no, like
State
the guy in
bird?
the costume out on the field, like cheering the crowd
Their
on.
team name. How about their team name? What are they called?
Are you talking about their NFC team?
Yes.
If well,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. We'll go with that. But what is Oregon? What's their mascot? You want me to give you those four again?
Hit me one more time, baby.
All right. Give me A, the bulls, B,
Nope.
a giant oak tree,
Nope.
C, the Trojans,
Nope.
or D, the ducks.
I don't think it's that one either. Trojans.
That is incorrect. They are the
Ah,
Oregon Ducks.
that was so close.
The Ducks.
The Ducks. No, no, they're not. Because they were all them little kids playing hockey, and they were like in northeastern America, not northwestern.
That'd be the Mighty
The
Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Were
Yeah.
that the Bash Brothers and the
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, that was
Yeah.
that was Mighty Ducks too, but you know,
That
I don't
was
expect you to know the
Oregon's
difference.
the not Mighty Ducks. They're not. They're just the regular Ducks.
Where's D1, D2, D3? D2 was the best though. That had Keenan Thompson in it, and like a cooler soundtrack. Whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is. Now that was popular in the 90s. All right.
Yeah, brother. Because of that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. James. Who killed in Star Wars? Who killed five Jedis, wears complete Mandalorian armor, and was killed by a desert a desert sea monster? Which character am I referring to?
Well, hold on. Your question may be flawed, but I'm gonna hazard a guess at Boba Fett.
Mm.
That is correct, Boba Fett.
But he wasn't killed by that
Boba
monster.
Fett.
He was not digested. He actually flew up out of the Sarlacc pit in the Mandalorian season 2.
What season are they on? How many have they had?
Still a show.
3.
Still a show. Huh?
They're talking about a season 4 or yeah, but yeah, no, technically he didn't die. In the movies he died, but then Disney in their infinite dumbass wisdom brought him back.
I don't
And,
like Disney's hand in Star Wars.
In fact, when I was doing a trivia contest at the state park, which I came in first place, but when I was
wait,
working on that,
Let's backtrack a little bit here.
when you were doing when you were doing what?
well, when I was, in the Star Wars trivia contest at the state park, Henry Horton, there was about 200 people, roughly
Wow.
20 teams.
Whoa, that is a lot more than I was expecting.
I was thinking like 7.
I was
No, it
thinking
was
like you and
whole-
some random
no.
people that just showed up for
The
dessert.
whole restaurant, the new big restaurant they built, was completely packed, line out the door. for this
And where was
contest.
this at again?
At Henry Horton State Park, and
Damn,
it
I
was
thought
lined
they
all
were
the way out
pulling those numbers.
It was wildly popular. It was huge. I can go get my trophy if you want. But
You know what? You don't have to go get it now, but I expect you to be displaying it next episode
you got it, Chief.
because that
But,
is pretty cool.
And I also got a little Millennium Falcon keychain and a Lego set that I gave to some kid. Because the last trivia contest I was in, I was 12 at the episode 2 midnight premiere. I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but what I was gonna say is that they asked almost the same question about Boba Fett dying, and myself and 3 others had to raise our hands and was like, "Hold on now, are you talking about the previous canon or Disney canon? Because those are 2 different answers." And they were like, "We're gonna throw that question out." We're like, "That's damn right you are."
Well, you got it right, so we're
Anyway,
going to keep it. So we're going to keep it. But
Hmm.
congrats to you. I did not know that you were the first place champion at the Star Wars.
I was second place
First.
at that 12-year-old when I was talking
That's
about. I got one
impressive. That's
question wrong.
impressive for a 12-year-old.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
actually, hey, check this out.
he's got the trophy.
He's got it
No,
here.
I got the ticket from that screening. If you can see that, it says star from where it was ripped off. Okay, it's trying to focus.
I see the
Anyway,
star.
yeah, it says
Is
May
your star.
15th, 2002, 12:05 a.m. Child. $5. $5 for a midnight premiere of Star Wars, by the way.
Those $5 days are long and gone now.
Long gone. Yep. But
Ain't seeing those.
yeah, my cousin almost came to that. This is totally off topic, guys. I'm sorry to derail the entire show. But I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my cousin, aka like my best friend, we're 6 cousins. He is in fact the voice of Anakin Skywalker on all of the Clone Wars TV shows and video games.
No, that's pretty sweet. I had no clue that was
That's
the case.
that's legit. Um, yeah, through my genealogy research, his father reached out to me, my 5th cousin once removed, and he said, "Hey, my son is, your cousin too, and it looks like you're a Star Wars fan." I was like, ah, "Yeah, I've seen him," and uh,
I've heard of them.
but yeah, his my cousin is in fact Anakin Skywalker's voice on Clone Wars, and I went and talked to him, met him, and he was gonna come to that trivia contest as like a little guest appearance and stuff.
Oh
But
wow, you were
Wow.
gonna just show them off like, hey,
yeah, I was just gonna be like, "Hey, look at my bro, my
this
best
is
friend,
my cousin
Anakin."
here. People
Flexing
and
would
at the state park
probably,
with your people,
yeah,
man. That's it.
so no,
yeah,
but I bring that shit up at work all of the time, all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
That's pretty cool. That's
Like
pretty
once
cool.
once a week, I will be like, "Hey, did I tell you guys? Did I tell y'all something?" And they're like, "What? That Anakin is your cousin?" I was like, "How'd you?" Yeah,
James, this is the 10th time you told me this week.
I was like, it's about to be 11.
So one major question, James. What is the best trilogy, Star Wars or Lord of the Rings?
There is only one return, and it's of the Jedi.
I disagree. It's the Lord of the Rings for me.
Nah, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one because
They're both good in their own rights.
yeah, Lord of the Rings obviously came first, and it's a classic, and it's in its own thing. And then I would say Lord of the Rings is to the high fantasy world as Star Wars is to the science
Sci-fi
fiction.
world. Yeah, that's fair. That's
Uh,
that's that's basically how I look at it too.
but I don't want to take up too much of the podcast
No,
time with
no, you're good. We've got
my
another
shit.
sports question for you.
Let's
All right.
go. Let's fucking go.
Which one of these teams is in the ACC conference?
I don't know what the hell that is.
Is it A?
Is that the? Okay, go ahead.
I'll tell you this. Okay, this is the ACC is a conference in college football.
Shit. Okay.
Let me give you that. Okay.
All right.
Is it is it
I'm
A,
primed and ready.
is it A number B Arizona State?
I missed A. I was
C
laughing at myself too hard.
I'll give it over. Okay. Which of these teams is a team in the ACC conference? Is it A Nebraska, B Arizona State, C Miami, or D Texas A&M?
It's not D because they're in the SEC.
Okay, you knew that.
Wow.
You knew
That's
that.
Yeah.
more impressive than
I
getting the question
debated
right.
throwing an SEC team on there because
Yeah.
You're good.
I thought I
You
might
could skip
pick
this.
Texas
He's good
A&M.
off that. Like that alone is more than enough to be right.
You're trying to fuck with me.
No,
That was
no,
impressive.
that was
All right.
impressive.
That
So
was
what?
more than I thought you would have known.
I okay. So backstory. whenever, as a kid, I would flip through channels, I would see football games, and obviously being in the SEC region, those were the only teams and only games I ever heard of because we didn't have ESPN. I had 2, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 5, 8, and sometimes 17 if the atmosphere was right.
Yeah.
So the only teams I ever saw were SEC teams, and I remember seeing Texas a lot. So um,
Well,
Arizona. Was that one of the questions? Was that one of
yeah,
the
Arizona
choices?
State was the other one that you're thinking of.
All right, ACC, Arizona Conference.
So you took one team out of the equation, so you're down to three. So you've got this: A,
It's not okay.
Nebraska,
It's probably not
B,
Arizona.
Arizona State, or C, Miami.
What is all right? Second clue. What does the A in ACC stand for?
Oh, that's going to give it away.
Kind of give it away. I can't give you that.
Ah,
We can give you
okay.
the second C though.
So it doesn't stand for American.
No, it doesn't stand for American.
America Central?
Mm,
Okay. All right. You hesitated. Nebraska. Final answer.
you're going with Nebraska. That is incorrect. Miami. Atlantic is what the A stands for. That's why I couldn't give you that.
This game is horse shit. I
But
hope you're having fun.
you
Making
did
fun. Making fun of me.
answer every Star Wars question right tonight. So there's that.
Yes.
Uh,
Let me
Did they
get
give
that
you
beer
like a
for you.
like a certificate of authenticity of the things you want at least? So if you ever like sell it on eBay, not that you ever would, you can be like, no, it's real.
No, actually, the
I
first
actually earned
time
this.
when I was a kid and I lost by one question, it was to a middle-aged grown-ass man, of course. It was down to me and him. And you remember those midnight premieres of like anything back in the day? There was just lines around the building. So there was
Yeah.
tons of people there. We had to answer a 25 question test before we could even sit in the trivia. That's how like big a deal this was. And then
Wow.
got through that, beat all the grown-ups, and went through the entire thing and got to the last guy, and it was me and him. They sat us back to back. Me, like 5'2", and this guy like 6'5" and grown and beer gut and all that. And they asked the question. I'll never forget it. I'm not gonna say it here because it hurts too much. But I missed it and devastated because I knew as soon as I said the answer, I knew I fucked up. And I get up and dude wins. And my second place prize was the soundtrack to Star Wars by John Williams, like the original score.
mhm.
And I already had that. So I was a little disappointed, because everyone had that soundtrack. Like everyone. I'm sure you guys had it.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
Maybe.
I did
yeah.
not.
And so this guy, he won the PC version of Jedi Outcast, the greatest Star Wars game that had come around at that point. And he came up to me later on. He was like, "Hey kid, I don't have a computer, but I really want that soundtrack. You want to trade?" And I was like, "Does chicken have lips?" "Yeah, I want it." And so we traded, and I played the shit out of that game for like 5 years. So in a
Yeah,
way, I
well,
still won.
you came out a winner no matter what. You got that prize. And now
Yeah.
you have a trophy and the Millennium Falcon to prove it.
Yeah, the trophy actually is just a bag that says first place trivia on it, but I'll take it. Hey,
That's
it's
the only
You're
bag
winning.
of that bag. There's no other bags like that. So
that
That's
and world's
definitely
smallest fish are the two trophies I own. So
definitely different than the bags I have. I actually completely off topic, but since you said smallest fish, I won a fishing tournament when I was younger. Got first place
oh,
at that bad boy.
that's fucking impressive.
Hey, and I retired, never did another one, went out on top.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, retire. I'm never doing another Star Wars trivia ever again for the
No,
same reason. Retire on top.
you proved what you were there for.
Yep, done and done.
Kevin, something that you're excited about and I'm excited about. It started like you said, it started with Georgia Tech and Florida State. Georgia Tech getting that upset. And tomorrow, since we're recording on a Friday, is a big day for college football, a lot of games. And even though there's been games, Saturday kind of kicks off the season for me because that's the big day for college football. But Tennessee is where I want to talk about. Is this the year? Is this make or break for Tennessee? Is this the year that Tennessee can finally get over the hump on in a 12-team playoff? I've been looking at Tennessee's schedule, and I think they can pretty. I hate to say this because I'm not a Tennessee fan by any means. But I think that if I'm just picking, if it's win or loss, looking at their schedule, I think I'd have them losing to Alabama and to Georgia. I think they can win everything else on that schedule.
They can win. They can win all of those. They can, they can win. They can win every game on the schedule. I wouldn't be surprised because to say they're going to go 12-0 or what 12 games, 12-0. No, they're not going to do that. They can't lose more than two, but they're going to have to beat either Georgia or Alabama to get in the
Yeah.
playoff. Is what
Yeah.
I think. So they're going to have to. So now if they, I originally looking at the schedule, I thought that second game against NC State was going to be tough, but they
NC
almost got
State,
beat
NC State did not
yesterday.
look good. They did not look.
West Carolina had it, well, barely, but they had them in the lead in the fourth quarter. So I'm like, okay, I think they can win that one. And thankfully for Tennessee, they'll be ranked going in that game, so that's going to help. Oklahoma, who knows, right? I mean, we'll see. Welcome to the
It's
SEC.
their,
That's Oklahoma's. I think it's Oklahoma's first big SEC game. I'm not
it's Tennessee's
sure.
first real game, in my opinion.
Yeah, well,
It's on the
yeah,
road. It's on the road too at Oklahoma. So
yeah, it's on the road. We'll see. I mean, that might be a loss. So, I mean, but realistically, I think that if that's a loss, then they're gonna have to beat Georgia or Alabama,
yeah.
and I think they can beat one of them. I think Georgia would be the more likely one. Just well, I don't know, to be honest. I mean,
Well,
Georgia,
you
who
get
knows?
Alabama at home, and you got a away game at Georgia.
Yeah, and they played Alabama really really good for that first half last year. It was a game they probably should have won, but Alabama came out in the second half and did what they do, and that was
Yeah,
it,
the
right?
second half
Uh,
shut that down.
but
Um,
Alabama had a weird year last year, anyway. So, which we'll talk
super
about.
super weird year as an Alabama fan.
Weirdest year I've ever seen. From say an Alabama fan, but just from them being everywhere in college football the last 15 years, I feel like um, the weirdest year for them. But now Tennessee they can do it. They're going to have to go. They can't lose more than two games. I mean, I'm going to assume. I mean, maybe there'll be a three-loss team in there. I don't know. I mean, well, I guess if a three-loss team wins one of their conference championships, they'll be in there. But in
It
that
could
large,
happen that a team gets in because if you're Tennessee and your three loss teams are against ranked teams, I mean, it really just depends on what happens in the field of college football too. I guess
yeah,
whether that's a 3-win team to get in, but if a 3-win team's going to get in, I would probably think it's from the SEC.
yeah, it would have to be. And the good news is, being an SEC team, they're going to have that. They're going to have that going for them. And media would love for Tennessee to, just like Michigan, they'd love for Tennessee to get in. It's
Yeah,
one of those big programs that they got that going for them. But they got to beat Georgia or Alabama this year. They can't have them two as losses. So that's just the way it is. They're going to have to be one of those guys, and they can't slip up either. I mean, they still got
no,
Florida,
that
Kentucky.
kind of seems to be Tennessee's problem is they'll slip up somewhere like the South Carolina game. They slipped up there, and that kind of ended that season for them.
That did that. They would have went in the playoffs that year. No questions. They would have been a
Yeah.
playoff team. Made too much sense, and I don't know that they would have done anything in the playoffs, but it would have been cool to see them there, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
this is why
you
you
know,
watch it. I mean, they're a big name program, so
but if Nico comes out, but if their quarterback Nico, if he comes out, I can't pronounce his last name properly, so I don't want to butcher it. But if he's it's going to be dependent on him partly too, because if he comes out and he's balling, I mean, they'll go you've seen it. I mean, we've seen college quarterbacks take their team the whole way. Cam Newton, Tim
yeah,
Tebow, people like that. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be one of like that level of college quarterback, right? Because I mean, those are generational talents in college. But man, if he comes out and tears it up, man, and Heupel's offense, I mean, he had a great Citrus Bowl game. I mean, shut
yeah.
out Iowa 35-0. He had like two or three rushing touchdowns. He looked good.
But he got that experience too of being in a live college
Yeah,
game.
and
So
you get a bowl game too, and we don't know how good Iowa was last year. Which Iowa, speaking of which, is one of the teams that everyone's picking to be a playoff team this year, which is good for them. But
yeah,
I'd like to see Iowa do good this year. Be good to with their program they got with the the hospital where they wave at the kids at halftime. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Uh, it's really cool. But now, man, dude, we hope that this is the year for Tennessee. I mean, but I don't think if if they don't make it in the playoffs, I mean, obviously I don't think they're going to fire Heupel, and it's Nico's
No,
first
I
year
don't think he's
starting.
on the hot seat by any means because this is the best coach I've had in a while.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
good.
and I think we realize it.
Like as an Alabama fan every year, I never even like was worried about playing Tennessee because I mean Butch Jones, I don't think was ever the guy. The one after him, what's the guy that was a defensive coordinator for Alabama? I can't think of his name. I never thought he was
Pruitt,
the guy.
Pruitt.
Yeah, Pruitt, Josh Pruitt. So this is the best coach I've had in a while. He's got a great offensive mind. Um,
Yeah,
and he's kept y'all the steadiest I feel like y'all been in the past couple years. Like y'all felt like
hmm
y'all been steady and moving forward. Like you don't feel like you're moving backwards.
No, I mean we lost one more game last year, but we didn't. I mean Milton was good, but when you have someone like Hendon Hooker who was playing out of his mind the year before,
Yeah.
it was kind of it was okay to regress by that. But I mean he still went 10-3, I guess when you count the bowl game. I believe that was maybe it was 9-3, but either way they had 9 or 10 wins last year, and they only lost those 3 games. And we'll see. We'll see, how it goes. But man, we hope this is the year. But dude, yeah, their schedule. I mean, they've got a somewhat tough schedule, but everyone in the SEC has a tough schedule.
I
But
mean, if you're in the SEC, you got a tough schedule.
yeah, everyone's got a tough schedule now. But speaking of which, we hope Tennessee does good this year. And I think realistically they can make the playoffs. They just have to they have to win one of those Georgia Alabama games. And they cannot slip up, which is tough to do in
Yeah.
college football in the SEC. So it's going to be hard. So, but I don't
Um,
think they get in. I don't think there's a world where they win all their games, and if they lose to Georgia and Alabama, I just think there'll be another two-loss team in there that's going to have you know something comparable or better. And I think that they'll look at it as them not being able to beat one of the big guys, and then do you really want to put
tag
that
team.
team in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And also depends on how Oklahoma does too. Because let's say we beat Oklahoma and that's the only loss they have all year. That would count as one of those signature wins, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Got to get let the film prove itself.
but yeah, so yeah, that's my take on Tennessee. So what do you feel about Alabama? Because I actually texted you the other day, and I just saw their schedule, and I was like, wow, I was surprised at how hard it is.
Yeah,
Uh,
Alabama's got a pretty tough schedule, and it's even tougher because it's a first year coach coming in, and we've been spoiled by Nick Saban for years now. So you just kind of feel uneasy about the schedule, I guess.
What's
I
wrong with the
mean,
schedule?
it's just tough, a lot of tough games. Game 4, they got Georgia. The only good news about having Georgia that early is we get them at home, but they're going to be the number one ranked team coming into that game. Georgia's not going to lose by that point. So, Georgia's right there. They basically have become the Alabama of college football now that Saban's gone. They are the premier team in college football. Yeah, I guess that's probably fair to say. They're always going to be competing. That's what Alabama was every year. They were competing for the title. So that's basically what Georgia is now. But Alabama could stay there. We'll see. But this stretch right here is brutal for Alabama's schedule. They've got at Tennessee, Missouri at home, and then at LSU. Those are 3 games in a row. That's pretty hard.
yeah,
Versus what would be an easy season for them.
well, probably the next week after going against Mercer at home.
Yeah.
But that's actually it doesn't get any easier from there. That's what I mean. I don't see an easy section. I mean, even the first 2 games. Well, I will say the first 2 games. Remember the South Florida
Yeah,
game
because
was
the South
where
Florida
they
game, I think it'll be a little different this year. I hope so.
yeah. But then you
But
get Wisconsin, right? You got to go to Wisconsin. I know
got
they
to
haven't
go to
been
Wisconsin.
good in a few years,
Three.
but they're going to be ready to play. Wisconsin, they're going to be ready to play.
Wisconsin's
I don't know
going to be
how
at
good it's going
home
to be.
too. So,
Yeah,
and this Wisconsin time is 11 a.m. game. That's what Wisconsin loves, early games, because that's what they're just used to.
yeah. Too bad they couldn't get them in November and make it a little bit colder. That would have
But
been
it's
a lot
tough. I
more
mean, it's a
interesting.
tough schedule. I mean, they travel to Vanderbilt. That's an easy win. I'll be at that game. I'll probably go to that game.
Vandy's here.
South Carolina's kind of yeah, Vandy's here. South Carolina's kind of to be determined. Don't know what they're going to be just yet. And then you finish with at Oklahoma, and then at home versus Auburn. And I think Auburn's going to be the most improved team out of all of SEC. So
Yeah, well, it's still the rivalry, right? Like they almost lost. Didn't they almost
it's
lose
the
that
right,
game
like,
last year?
yeah. I mean, it took a 4th and 23 for
And they
Alabama to
were
win last year.
Auburn even bowl eligible last year?
I don't remember. I don't feel like that. They were very like up and down last year. I really don't
Yeah.
remember what their previous, if they were bowl eligible or not. It was a pretty rough season for them. Like they had some strides and then they had some losses.
So
Um,
what do you think? What do you think with their schedule? You think how many wins do you think they're going to get? Obviously, yeah, I can give you my unbiased opinion, but I'm curious as to what your obviously biased opinion is going to be. How many wins do you think they're going to get this year?
Alabama, if I'm being honest, unbiased, I think they can get 10 wins.
Okay, yeah, that's where
I've
I'm
got
at.
them losing to Georgia. I got them losing to Georgia at home, which hurts. Losing a game at home hurts. And then I think either one of these teams is going to beat them. I really don't know which one just yet. I think the season will show us because it's kind of a little later. It's in late October, so we'll know more by that point. But
Yeah,
I think they'll either lose to Tennessee at Tennessee on the road, or I think they'll lose to Missouri because Missouri is going to be good. Missouri could be that that second SEC team that's at the top of the playoffs.
I don't know. I mean, I'm bitter after their spanking of Tennessee last year when their running back just I mean I knew they were going to be good last year, but they still got that running back. Is he still there? Because he like
Yeah,
ran for like 300
Tennessee,
yards against Tennessee.
yeah, Tennessee kind of checked out of that game at a certain
They
point.
did. It was pretty bad. That's when I was like, put Nico in. I like love Joe Milton. I mean, he was fun to watch, but that's
Yeah,
when I was like, dude, Nico guy going forward, see what he can do. But
yeah.
yeah, you're right. They did check out of that game. Yeah, I do. It seemed they did, anyways. I mean, I don't know how much you can check out of it when you're a football player like that, but
I'm,
of
I'm
that
I'm
caliber.
I'm looking at Missouri's schedule right now. I haven't actually taken a look at this. This is pretty winnable for them too.
Yeah. Tennessee didn't play him this year.
Yeah, no Tennessee. Their first let's see. Their first challenge is week 5 at Texas A&M. And then they play Massachusetts. That's another win. They'll play Auburn. I would think they'd beat them. Then they play Alabama, and then they play Oklahoma. And then outside of that, it's just South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. They've got a very winnable schedule. I mean, if they just drop a game to Alabama, the rest of those are winnable. That's probably a playoff team.
Yeah, if that's the only loss they have, they'll get in. I mean, there's no questions that one loss SEC team, no matter who it is, because there won't be. I mean, there may be two one loss. I guess there could be three, but I don't know. I can't imagine there being four one loss SEC teams. And also, I don't know that there's going to be. Well, I guess there could be. I mean, I think the SEC is going to have two at large teams. I mean,
Yeah,
unless they're just not that good this year, but I feel like that
I
they'll
just
have
don't see that happening.
champions.
Too much talent. Too much talent. Like with just
But
Missouri's good. Like Missouri got it. They showed a lot last year, and they're bringing back a good bit last year. So
yeah, this we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm still bitter, but
yeah.
just unbiased as I am, I mean,
Well,
they were really good at the end of the
with
year.
this schedule, it's doable. I'll put it like that. If Alabama had this schedule, I'd feel a lot better about coming into this season this year.
But I put it this way, though, I think I got Alabama at 10 wins too. I don't know who they're going to lose to. I hope they lose to Tennessee. But man, I don't know who they're going to lose to. I don't know. LSU's always ranked, top 10, 20 in the year, and we never know until the year starts how good they're going to be. They're
Yeah,
one of those. I feel like that's how they were.
LSU's just kind of that team that's like that. They're either gonna be LSU and they're gonna show up and be a 10 win team themselves, or they're just gonna be that kind of like 8 win team. Like there's that I don't know really what they brought in. I couldn't even tell you their quarterback's name right now. So,
Couldn't tell you. Yeah, who knows, right? I don't know either, but it's gonna be
but
it's gonna be crazy to see. I don't know, man. I just whoever loses the SEC championship game, I think I
because
think for them, hopefully it's not the second time they play that team and has already lost to them. Does that make sense? I think losing to
yeah,
the same team twice, where realistically you think would help them, I think it might actually hurt them because they know there's a potential of a third rematch and nobody's going to want to see it. I would assume. I
yeah,
would like to see a third rematch, but
yeah.
not everyone's
Two you
an
can get
SEC
away with.
fan.
Three
All
though.
right, butt nuts, quit talking
Now,
about me.
if they split, if they somehow split, let's say it's Alabama, Georgia, and
Yeah.
Georgia wins the regular season, Alabama wins a SEC title. I mean, they would everyone would want to see a third game,
Yeah,
sure.
that would set the stage for a third game.
So, but I think if you lose twice to them, I don't think I don't know unless that's just their own. I mean, their only. I don't know. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, but
But that's my take on it.
yeah, and I think 10 wins. Like I said, I think I dropped to Georgia and then I dropped to Tennessee and Missouri. I just can't get myself to pick one. Like you said, LSU will be tough. It's at LSU. You know it'll be nighttime. Every time Alabama plays LSU, it's nighttime.
No concern against Oklahoma.
I Oklahoma's just too. They're kind of like LSU. Like,
Yeah,
I kind of put them in that same category. They can be good. They can be a good team. They can be a 10-win team, or they could just be an 8-win team. Time will
yeah.
tell. Time will
We'll
tell.
see.
It's their
We'll
first
see.
SEC too, so that kind of. I mean, it's just hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I mean, they're ranked 16th for a reason. To say that there could be better or worse, we don't know. But someone out, whoever all AP or whoever does the voting now for rankings, I don't even know at this point. But whoever that is, they saw a reason to put them at
Yeah.
16. So that sounds to me like they're also a lot of people are on the fence about them. They don't know if they're going to be a playoff team or not.
They got. I just put up their schedule. It's pretty rough. It's pretty. It's got some rough spots too. They got Tennessee. They got Texas. They got Ole Miss. They got Missouri, and they got
Ole Miss,
then
that's
they
another
got
one.
LSU. So yeah, Ole Miss is another one too that could be surprising.
Yeah,
And they don't
that's
have to. Lane Kiffin don't have to play Nick Saban this year. They don't play Alabama.
fair. Yeah,
Um,
So, Kevin,
yes.
what got you so into sports?
I just grew up playing it, man. Grew up playing baseball and then football, and it's just kept it going, man. And I like it's just I don't know. That's just it, man. Grew up playing it and just started watching it, watching the Braves. As a kid, I feel like started it all, from playing baseball, then watching them. Those 94, 95 Braves were huge, dude.
Killer.
And that just
90s was peak sports time, right?
it
That was when
was
everybody was just roided out to the balls
yeah,
and
we
just
missed that era
smashing
of
home
baseball.
runs every time they stepped up to the plate.
everybody, it was a home run game back then, right?
That shit was wild. That's how I like my sports. Just roided, fucked up. Just
Jose
massive.
Canseco wasn't out hunting Bigfoots back in the '90s. He was the
Jose
big.
can Jose Canseco bat.
Yeah.
Tell me, you didn't pay money for that.
The '90s was.
That's it, man.
That's
Just
cool, dude. So,
growing up
so
playing sports.
90s Braves, what Oilers back then? Were you into the Oilers? Were you
No.
Tennessee at that point? Hey, you grew up in
When did
Tennessee.
Tennessee I was here, yeah, Tennessee. I was born and raised here. Tennessee, they didn't come to '97. I honestly didn't follow them until they were the Titans. So '99 year.
99.
Yeah.
Before
was-
that, I followed. I guess I got the Packers. I like Brett Favre. I mean, you know,
99 was the year I gave football a chance because of the Titans. And then I was
got
like,
you down.
never mind.
But that was a good year to be a part of the team, though.
Well,
Yeah, I was
maybe
absolutely bandwagon 10-year-old. I was like, this shit rules. We are
maybe you need to give them a
awesome.
chance again, and we'll win a Super Bowl. Maybe that's why we haven't won one ever
my
since
fault?
you left.
Are you saying it's
We
my
haven't been
fault?
back. Yes.
Yes.
It's my fault that the Music City Miracle didn't take us all the way to 3-yard
Yes.
touchdown.
I think you got to give them another chance, and then maybe
That's a fair
maybe that's
statement.
what they're waiting on. Because they haven't been back since '99, and
Listen.
it's but not a coincidence that they haven't been back
Dropped
and you
off.
stopped watching.
If I'm all of a sudden a bandwagon fan again, I'll jump on the bandwagon and be a fan. After the Derrick Henry years, that we all of a sudden have a chance. And on the last episode, you guys said we're fucked this year. But okay, all right. That aside, if I join the fandom and we win, what do I get out of it?
I'll get you a fake Super Bowl ring. I'm not going to buy the real one,
Ooh, that's
but
cool.
I will get you a replica. I don't, and maybe a replica's probably going to be $150. I will buy you a replica.
You could put that bad boy right by that Star Wars trophy.
Yes.
No.
Speaking of
No.
which, I have. James? I think I have a picture of you
Uh-oh.
with the trophy. Am I allowed to share that?
Can you? I don't know. You're the host
hostess.
with the
Well,
most.
Well, I mean, do I have your permission? Was my question.
Oh yeah, I sent it for
Okay.
the for
Once
the
my
group
laptop
effort. If
loads.
you
Is
can figure
this
out how.
is this on the front page of
Yes,
the
that is
Chapel Hill
there.
News?
Well, it
Yeah,
should be.
that was Marshall County Tribune right there.
I'm going to tell you what, we haven't brought 200 people in to the town for anything other than tractor pull.
The biggest thing in Marshall County since
200
Donkey
give or take.
Hightower.
After I looked at the picture, I was like, that might not have been 200 people, but it was a lot. All right,
So
a lot.
here is the picture.
Anyone see it? Oh, there we go.
Here we are. That,
Yeah.
that's a lot of people.
It was those, and then on the other side of the partition, there was
Yeah,
like
that's
that
a big
many.
building too. So that's a decent amount of people, no matter how
I,
big it actually
I
is.
whooped all of their asses. Every single one of them people were there.
Oh,
I
is
just
that
want to
your
know.
that's your trophy right there, the bag.
That's the
Yeah,
trophy.
hell
Okay.
yeah. You got to hang it up in the kitchen, place of honor.
Hey, that's good. Now, I just want to know how far these people traveled. Who was did you talk to me? I'm sure you talked to some
Yeah,
people. Like,
I
what was the
did.
furthest somebody traveled that you
Y'all
heard
do
of?
like this to each other.
An hour. Shut up,
Star
Joe.
Trek. Star Trek.
It's Star Trek, first of all.
Track.
Second of
Trek.
all,
Track. Whatever.
no, we didn't. And it was like an hour, like the farthest away, but there was a lot of people in costume. And I felt bad for whooping the shit out of them. But
Was it even close? Like, was there a close second?
oh yeah, yeah, it was really close. It came down to sudden death.
Shit.
And
Yeah.
so as we see in this picture, this fan, this giant James fan right here beside you.
Yep.
Um, what place did she come in? Did she enter?
Who's that? The girl beside me?
Yes.
In the
Yes.
all right. So full disclosure, tis my wife, and she saw me write down an error on one of my answers and was like, "Hey, it wasn't Mace Windu," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, I almost effed up, and she caught it, and so I got to give a big shout out to my wife Alicia for not letting me make a crucial mistake because there were 6 teams that got to a tie at the end of the questions, and then there was a
Yeah.
tiebreaker question, and that killed it down to 2, me and one other dude, and they made me and him stand up and answer the final question. And
Was it a first to like say it, first to hit the bell?
yeah,
Like,
first to yell it out.
Should
dang,
have a lightsaber fight. That would have been much cooler.
that would have been way fucking cooler.
Oh, I would have hurt the man. It wouldn't have
Hey.
even been fair. Yeah.
Well,
But anyway, what were we talking? We were talking about the 99 Titans losing to the Rams. That's probably
and
more
now it's your
interesting to our
fault they haven't
listeners.
been back
yeah, it's
since.
kind of your fault. And I think
It's
you
okay.
should paint
My
your face
bad.
blue and jump back in that wagon.
Not bad. Those years of Eddie George and Steve McNair
Rest in peace.
pre-murder.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you said college. We're all excited. James is definitely excited about college this
James
weekend.
is the most excited here to
Uh,
watch some ACC football.
It's in the Atlantic Coastal
Atlantic
Conference.
Coast. Yeah, I never
and-
told you what the C stood for. It was Coast. I was too scared to give you that because then you would have thought Miami for sure.
Yeah, we gave you Atlantic.
Yeah,
You would have known. I guess. Well, actually, the way conferences are now, you may not have known. But
I would have had a
but
stronger guess though.
Yeah.
You would have definitely had a stronger guess. But shit,
totally
to be
I
honest,
feel like Coast would have just gave it away too much. So.
I almost wouldn't have known that answer if you didn't say Miami. I was like, shit, I don't know. Is Nebraska in the ACC now? I don't know anymore, right? But
So Kevin got into sports in the 90s because of peak Braves, peak Titans, and then just kind of has fought hard for that fandom ever since. What about you, Joe?
Well, I mean, my story is pretty close to Kevin's too. I mean, I'm from Alabama, so like you're given a football at the hospital when you're born, pretty much, and football is just what you do as a boy down there. They just preach it on you because it's such a different fan base. It's hard for me to explain to people because Tennessee is a huge fan base. It really is. But I've lived in Alabama and I've lived in Tennessee, and it's so different. Like Alabama fans are diehard Alabama fans. Like I mean, one guy poisoned oak trees at Auburn. Like that's the kind of shit that goes down in
oh
Alabama.
shit, I forgot about that.
And-
Wow, that was a
I mean,
felony.
like
right?
the rivalry week of Alabama versus Auburn, like the school lines would be split. Like once one fan goes on that side, the other fan goes on the other side. Like it's kind of crazy, and it's just hard to explain to people who don't live there. It's just different. But for me, it's weird because I kind of lived half my life in Alabama, then we moved up to Tennessee. And Alabama sucked, for a while when I first lived here. But to me, Tennessee's almost like it's obviously just as much, if not bigger, a rivalry for me, just because I kind of grew up my later years here in Tennessee.
It's funny. I hear a lot of people say that about that. That Tennessee Auburn. A lot of people think it's Auburn's the bigger rival, but then you really talk to the Alabama fans and players, and it seems like sometimes it seems like Tennessee's a bit. It's one of those two
Right
teams.
there. It's
It's right
Tennessee's
there,
Auburn
even though
LSU. Like it's I mean not LSU, yeah, Auburn and Tennessee. Like it's right there.
it's
Yeah,
crazy
are
because
y'all
I always
saying
like it's going to be Auburn for sure. But then recently people say it's Tennessee's kind of right there. It's more joy to beat. I mean, I feel like it's a lot more joy to beat Tennessee because you just really, really hate those guys, even though you really hate
Yeah,
Auburn.
you
But
root for Tennessee to beat anybody ever.
yeah,
I had a professor at MTSU who was a criminal psych professor and just big old jacked son bitch, right? Like bodybuilder type. And he always wore Auburn gear every day, either a hat, shirt, slacks, something Auburn. And there was a girl in the crowd who gave him hell for it and said, "Oh, Alabama's going to beat Auburn's ass this weekend," or whatever. And he said, and he looked at her and she was wearing Alabama shit at MTSU. And he said, he
fair.
said, "I wear Auburn because I got my post grad there. You wear Alabama because you got it at Walmart." And I was like,
Ow.
mm, that sums it up for me.
Yeah.
Ow.
But I guess to answer your question, I mean, like Kevin, I played sports and football was like the biggest one for me growing up. But I always watched basketball, always watched baseball.
Hmm.
Um, so just kind of being involved in it, and then kind of as you get older, growing up, and then watching ESPN as you get older, all that stuff kind of just accumulated. But I will say, in the '90s too, just like Kevin, like that's where I became a Tampa Bay Bucks fan because the '90s Bucks were just so good. And that kind of leads us into this too, because they have the best player ever in the NFL, if you ask me. No questions asked, the best fullback to ever play in the NFL,
Yes.
and that's Mike Alstott. He's the man. I mean, he's the reason why I wore number 40 as a kid. Like every other kid that was wearing 23, I was wearing 40 because of Mike Alstott.
Were you wearing 40 in basketball?
I did wear 40 in basketball actually when I played. No lie. And it got to the point because, like in football, your number is really positional a lot of the times. Like a number 40 is somebody who's going to be like touching the ball on offense. Typically a fullback, could be, I guess, a running back, but mostly not. And, like your offensive lines are in the 70s and 60s. So it's kind of positional your number. But no matter what position I played, I was like, nah, y'all are fucking giving me 40 because that's my number. So that was the number I rocked. And if you ask me, the greatest NFL player to ever play is Mike Alstott. I know, Kevin, you're a big fan of him. Um,
Mike Alstott.
yeah,
Yeah, James. Yeah, oh, yeah, big fan. He's it's just fun to watch. James, have you ever do you know who we're talking about? Have you watched his? Have you ever seen him play?
he would be in
Man,
my
I tell
mind.
you. Okay, so no, I didn't know who he was until I was prepping for this episode, and I watched a bunch of highlight reels for him, and was like, "Holy shit, this guy!" He would just grab that ball and slam it. He would hold that ball like the special needs kid with the class pet, and just fucking slam through the whole
Yeah,
line
he was a
all the way to the
badass. He
end.
was a badass on the field.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
ball.
he
Yeah, the
was.
way he held the ball. Yeah, that's a good point. He did not hold the ball like you'd think somebody figured out to get that ball out of there, but dude, he didn't matter. No one wanted to tackle him.
Yeah,
At
Mm-mm.
least I can't imagine they did. Maybe I mean, only person I think that in his time that could have. I mean, because I don't. Depending when he was a rookie, would he have played Lawrence Taylor? I
I don't,
mean,
I don't
that
think
would have been the
so.
only person that was the biggest, baddest. He would have played Ray Lewis.
I was gonna say Ray Lewis would have been the first one. I guess I would have thought of maybe.
I don't know when All Stars.
That's
I
like
mean,
just a badass on defense that you think going against.
And he
yeah,
still looks pretty good. Like I was watching some interviews with him, and the guy looks not broken in half like a lot of those older guys are. He's I don't know. He probably owns like 4 or 5 Chevrolet dealerships now, but he still looks really good, and still talking. He doesn't talk like he's had like 72 concussions, and
because Yeah,
For a
it's
guy
just
you watch his style football, you would think would have a lot of concussions, but he
Yeah.
just bulldozed. Well, he probably gave out some concussions. There's definitely no.
yeah, yeah. For the few that tried
Um,
to tackle him,
yeah, the A train, man. I love Mike Alstott. That was literally like the guy that was like, that I wanted to be as a kid. Even though I think I talked my coach and let me run the ball maybe 4 times growing up. So I was mostly on defense. I didn't play much offense. But if I did, that's who I would have wanted to be.
yeah, which that's a good person to want to be.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, dude, he was a beast, man. It's just watching his old highlights. Like you got to see James. I'm glad you get to see those because it's hard to explain what he did. Because it's even different than watching Derrick Henry run. Because at least Henry, I mean, he wasn't he's not as big as Allstott. He's probably been taller actually. I don't know how tall Allstott was. I don't know what was his stats like 6'1",
Alstott's
250,
he's 6'1". You got a 6'1", 248 with the
240. Yeah, so yeah, 6'1", 250. Wow, it's just going off just the way it looks. I mean, he also had the big shoulder pads too. But
yeah,
like
man, those
Henry's
giant shoulder pads.
250,
He
but
looked like a
6'3".
badass. If I was on defense, I wouldn't be happy to tackle this guy.
Who would you rather tackle, Derrick Henry or Mike Alstott?
Gosh, man, I gotta say,
The goalpost.
you know what? If that's a hard question because I instantly want to say Derrick Henry because how much I love Mike. But if we're talking about if I played in the '90s versus if I played today,
Played
I, don't-
today.
I wouldn't want to tackle Derrick Henry because I'd be on a highlight reel for Derrick Henry, not myself. Like
I mean, slamming into that Allsted guy would be like trying to tackle the Water Boys.
Yeah, like both in their
Gonna
prime.
end
Like
up.
it's hypothetical.
oh
So if you could
man,
take both
I
in their
don't
prime right
know.
now, and so who would you want to go full speed at? Now you get
Yeah.
a shot. You can go as fast as you want. You think you're in your tip top shape. You're not just going out there. You get an equal shot. I don't know who I'd want to smack into, to be honest with you. I'd go for both ankles for sure, and I can't
Yeah, I
choose.
would I would be using the get as low as possible. They're okay, body structure, they're about the same. 6'2" Henry, so he's a little taller, 248. So they're practically the same body frame.
Mike Alsted looked like the grown-up version of Spike from Little Giants.
That's who Spike turned into, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
actually what happened.
That's basically what happened. Yeah.
But
It,
it's safe to say there's not anyone else that, outside of those two running backs. I don't think there's. I'd rather tackle anyone else other than those. Like, there's nobody else that you know what I mean? Like, those
oh,
are the two
but,
You
first.
keep
like,
saying you would want to tackle. I think it's more like you would run into them and bounce off
You never know. Or try to tackle.
and hurt your neck.
Maybe Jerome
permanently.
Bettis.
I was about to say Jerome Bettis would be
I'd
another
rather
one.
tackle Jerome Bettis, though,
If out of
100%.
those three, Jerome Bettis would be the
Yes.
one I'd rather tackle.
And beyond that, those two would be the worst ones to try to tackle.
Yeah, but I mean, what a career that guy had though, and to kind of be labeled as the last like real fullback because it's kind of a lost position.
That ran the ball for sure. I can't. I mean,
Yeah,
they had
that's
a
what I
couple
mean. That
good
actually was
ones.
like in like the play calling process of actually running the ball. Not many fullbacks are in that position today. They're there to block.
Yeah, I don't. He was on the Super Bowl team, right? Did he get a ring with Tampa?
Yeah, he played from '96 to 2007 with the Bucks.
Oh, 07.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he was
Okay.
drafted in '96. But James, kind of going back to your question though, like the '90s, especially the mid '90s Bucks, they were just a badass team, and they played like the best defense in the league. And you
Oh
know,
yeah, that was my question last week. Why you were a fan of the Bucks?
yeah, but that's why. And kind of on top of that, how I landed with the Bucks too. So my oldest brother, he's a fan of his team is the Falcons. He loves the Falcons,
Mhm.
and they're in the same division against each other. So it kind of gives me that rivalry with my brother too. Um, we have that twice a year. So
Imagine how different your life would have been if you were a Panthers fan.
when yeah,
That's no way to live.
I'd be rocking a fucking Bryce Young jersey right now, though. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, man, that's that Bucks team. That Bucks run was good. I mean, they thankfully they got him Super Bowl in 02, right? Yeah,
Hey,
that was the
they're
year.
2 for 2 in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady and Mike, Big Mike A Train.
Yeah, and they had, but then Tony Dungy took them over. They were just a train wreck, right?
Yeah, Tony Dungy kind of
Well,
revamped.
no, we had oh my gosh, John Gruden first. We had John
John
Gruden. No, John Gruden came after.
John Gruden took over Tony Dungy's team.
That's right. Yes, but Tony Dungy took him over in what 96 or something, right?
Yeah, and he kind of made them that good team that you saw on TV. So, and then
Yeah.
Gruden came in and kind of took Dungy's team and I guess got him across the finish line. Got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were missing pieces. I mean, they didn't. I mean that defense was good, but I mean, like it. I mean, they always had someone else in the late '90s, and even the 01, 02. They just the '02 was just their year, man. And then it was great to see them go in there and smack the Raiders because the Titans the week before lost the AFC Championship to the Raiders.
To the
We
right.
could we were a great team that year. We just could not beat the Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah.
Rich Gannon was picking us apart, so it was really cool to watch Tampa go out there and just pick him apart.
Yeah. That defense was so fucking nasty that won that Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
I've
yeah, they
never
were.
I've never seen a Super Bowl and just been like that defense won that championship, but they did. Like that was
Yeah, it was a much more exciting version than I think that what the 2000 Ravens, who get all the deep credit, which they were great, but that Bucks team, just the way they harassed the quarterback, and I think he
what
was the MVP that year.
imagine being fucking Brad Johnson, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, and all you had to do was just not turn the ball over. Like their defense won you that championship. You just had to. If there was ever a quarterback that was just a play caller, you know how people like to use that word against quarterbacks. Brad Johnson was that quarterback. I mean, he just had to not turn the ball over. I mean, hand the ball off,
He could
and
have turned it
the
over too.
defense
It
is
wouldn't have
gonna.
mattered. They would have still
Yeah,
won.
yeah, that's probably true. But that team was just so fucking nasty, man. Those '90s Bucks, they were something different.
Yeah, Mike Alstott though, dude, he was. I'm glad he got him a ring. He was right there. I did not realize he played till '07.
I don't feel like he did, like looking back on it, but yeah,
No, not at all. I figured that's why I thought maybe he played against LT because I thought he was like an early '90s guy. I thought he retired like close to or Super Bowl year or maybe a year after. I didn't realize he played
yeah,
till '07.
yeah. By '07, Bucks fell off completely though. So
Yeah, that's fine. They got him another one with Tampa Tom, and
that's true. That's true. That's
good for
definitely
them.
true.
Good for them. So yeah, and so the bets. That's funny. So I actually did go bet the bets going in the bets. I that fucking Georgia Tech Florida State. I had 50 cents in my BetMGM account. Okay, I was
Mhm.
like, fuck it, let's just do what happened. I fucking bet Florida State to win, and I picked the other team to upset them. I was like, something told me to pick Georgia Tech because I'm sure the odds were really good.
Yeah, I imagine.
That's why I don't bet though. I mean, I had 50 cents on the line. I didn't give a fuck,
Yeah,
and I
but
couldn't even win that bet.
yeah, but fuck it. I mean, you got any bets you're gonna make this? This is when I bet the most. College, like I'll bet on football. I mean baseball, and I'll bet a little bit on basketball. But football is like when I'm just like, I hope I don't lose my rent because I'm about to make too many bets this week.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, here's a good one. Was it? Yeah, Penn State, West Virginia.
Penn State, West Virginia.
At West Virginia, I think I'd go West Virginia because there's been a lot of talk about West Virginia being good this year. I could be completely wrong. Penn State destroy them,
Yeah,
but I feel like there's been a lot of things I've been hearing about Penn State in the background. They're not ranked. I didn't realize that too. From what I assumed they would have been ranked, so they're not ranked. So Penn State, West Virginia. I think
Can
if
I
you just go in the games, maybe West Virginia. What was that, James?
can I ask you guys a filthy casual question?
Always.
Um, you guys are clearly experts on SEC because that's where we grew up and all that.
yeah.
How do you know so much about other conferences? Like, how is it physically possible to watch those games and
But
SEC
it's
games?
funny you asked that because I mean that's how me and Kevin would probably ask you about Star Wars, though.
There's a very
Yeah,
finite amount of content for Star Wars, though, okay? And
that's fair.
it's been out for like 40 years. There's only so much you can really actually know about it. Football and sports in general is a constant new thing, like every week, okay? So,
Yeah.
irrelevant. Your
So,
question is dumb. It's a false equivalency. Stay
No,
in your pocket,
it's
Joe.
not. It's
Answer
not.
my question first.
well, for me, dude, that's like the reason I have YouTube TV, so cable, I guess you call it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I watch. Like, I mean, let's say like I don't care for sitcoms, TV shows. I'll watch movies and shit every now and then. I'll find something on Netflix, and I say every now and then, like maybe once every 6 months. But if I'm watching TV, I mean, I'll get on YouTube and stuff, right, on my phone. But as far as actual watching TV goes, I'd say probably 95% of it is sports related.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I don't know. That's just
And
interesting.
I kind of piggyback off of Kevin there, and I mean, I got introduced to satellite radio, and I mean, not even if it wasn't satellite radio, but when I'm in the car, I'm listening to sports talk most of the time. I get in music moods every once in a while, but a lot of the times, I got some of my favorite guys I like to listen to do their own podcast or do their own shows, and so, I mean, I'm constantly listening to it. I mean, it's just staying in the news. I guess it would be like maybe not equivalent to Star Wars, but if you're just one of those political people that are always knowing what's going on in the political world, because you're just constantly watching it, you're just constantly listening to it. So
it's our entertainment. This is our entertainment. Like some people choose sitcoms, they choose, every now and then there's a good show like Yellowstone. I fucking loved it. Still do. That was a great show. But like every now and then I'll have a good show that I like. But that's my show.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because it just seemed impossible. Like, how could you watch two games at the same time? Because all these games are broadcasting simultaneously. So I've always wondered.
I actually have two. I can't show you. I'd have to move my camera, but I actually have two TVs side by side.
You got two TVs. You
side by side. So I watch, and then I'll put the third TV in the living room on a different game. So when I'm like,
and my fandom catches shit for being nerds. Okay.
Well, right. And you got to remember too, which it wasn't all the time, but I did have a leg up at my before I was becoming an entrepreneur. Was surrounded by 50 TVs a day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Now I didn't always listen to it, but that would, dude, fuck. That would help.
For the listeners and viewers, Kevin has been a GM at Buffalo Wild Wings for, I don't know, like 30 years now, since he was 6 years old.
But when I no longer work there now.
He was a GM for like 45 years.
Great restaurant, great sports bar.
Best cheese sticks in the business, Buffalo Wild Wings. I was there today.
Yeah, maybe I'll know some people. Yeah, Yeah. But no, so that helped. That helped stay informed, right?
That makes more sense.
For sure, because that's a huge part of what we did there. But even without that, man, like realistically, I still feel like I'd be pretty much in the same note, which now I am anyways. Because it's been 3 years removed since I worked there, and I probably know more now, to be honest with you, because I actually have time to absorb whatever I'm listening to. Versus then I just speak glimpses of this and that. But yeah, man, I think for me it's entertainment. For Joe, it sounds like it's entertainment, right?
Yeah,
that's our entertainment. And
it's a passion too, right? It's not just entertainment; it's a passion. It's an entertainment that you're passionate about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like entertainment, you're passionate about Batman. Obviously, we can see that in the background. So,
it's passing interest.
Something I picked up last weekend.
But
I've seen a couple of the cartoons.
Dude, that's a good question, James. I feel like that's the best reason why. That's the best thing I can give you. But fantasy football helps, with your knowledge of stuff. Well, which for us we still knew, but like that actually may be a good idea. We should get James in on a fantasy football league. I guarantee your knowledge will soar.
That's true. When you got money on the line, you're going to pay a little bit more attention.
Just the competition piece, I think you'll enjoy more so too.
That's true too. You're a competitor. I think you would enjoy that part of it as well.
I will auto draft all of it.
But I think my biggest
auto draft it. You still got to be on your team week to week, like setting.
Do I? Like, can I not just wait until the end of the season just to see how they did? Kind of like investing in stocks.
But it's going to work against you to do that because there's injuries and there's bye weeks.
And then what? Do I have to like rearrange my people?
Yeah, so you have to rearrange your team.
If you don't, people in the league will get mad at you.
Yeah.
Who, you guys?
I wouldn't care. No.
I'll take an easy win if it's there.
Yeah, and if someone else beats you, that's it. And guess what? Hey, you might.
But there's nothing wrong with auto drafting. I hate when somebody auto drafts when there's actually like a decent amount of money on the line, because it just kind of fucks you up if you're like your picking order. But
strategies.
But there's nothing wrong with a auto draft team. There's always one or two people every draft where they're somehow on auto draft, and they always end up, one of those two always end up with like a team in the playoffs. So
that's what I'm saying.
Like that's the equivalent of just having AI pick it. That's literally what it is. So
it should, that's a good point. Never thought about AI doing it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. But that's my game, man. That's my bet. Is I got to think West Virginia, Penn State, and then I just thought about this one too. And then maybe you were going to think of this one. So I apologize if I steal your thunder. Miami and Florida.
Miami,
Miami
Florida's a
at
good one.
Florida.
Yeah, Miami, Florida's a good one. And
Nobody knows how good Miami's going to be this
nobody
year,
knows how good Miami's going to be. Florida's Florida.
Now,
and
when you
that's
guys
a
say
rivalry
Florida,
renewed.
The Gators, Florida Gators.
Gainesville. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly it. Yep.
And I mean, both of those teams are what I know it's Miami's second year coach. I can't remember how long Billy Napier's been there. Is this his second year too? Or it's his second?
Third.
It's either second or third. Yes.
Third. I
It's,
don't think because last year wasn't his first year.
I don't think so. I can't really remember, but I don't think it was. I think this is his third year.
Cristobal, that's the Miami coach.
Yeah, Cristobal, product of Alabama. He came from the
Yeah.
Oregon Trojans. That's where he was before Miami. He was a product of Nick Saban too, there, and Nick Saban's earlier year.
And my granduncle was actually a professor at Gainesville, and he played for them back in the 40s, right before World War II.
Dang.
Wow,
impressive.
My great grandfather played for them. I've got a picture of him in a football jersey from 1925 ish.
Damn, that goes way back.
He played for the Gators. Yeah.
So you got some Gator ties there.
Yeah, born in Nashville, raised in Tennessee. So obviously I think I'm supposed to be a Vols fan. But my grandparents and my paternal lineage is all Gators from like day one of Gator football. So I think I'm supposed to be a Gators fan. I don't know. It's a family torn apart, but
hey, you could be a Gator fan. Having a Ball fan, Gator fan, and Bama fan in the same room is probably like this. That'd be
watching a Vols game, eating some Gator. I think that would be a good mix.
That's pretty cool.
I love a Gator. I love Gator meat.
Gator bites. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think with that, I'm gonna take the Florida Gators.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you parlay the West Virginia Florida one. I'd be curious to see what that would get you, but I bet that would be a good one.
That would give you some really good odds, I bet, between those.
And you could throw a safe bet, Clemson, Georgia. We all know so we all know Clemson. We all know Georgia's most likely going to win that game, right? At least we feel that way.
Barring a crazy injury, I would say Georgia would win that, and I would probably still think, even because a backup quarterback, I think it still might be Clemson. So.
Yeah, but that's one of those things where that may help your odds out, and maybe throwing that safe bet in there.
Yeah, increase those odds. And if you got parlay bonuses, where you got to add a third team, that would be the team to do it.
But I think those two look like the safest upsets. I think I for whatever reason I can't see the full lineup, but for ranked team, I guess all your big ones are going to be ranked team upsets because that's an upset.
Yeah, those are the biggest ones. The only other one I'd add to that before we end this would probably be. Is it Texas A&M and Notre Dame? Yeah, that's one that could, because Texas A&M's coming in with a new coach. This is a second-year coach for Notre Dame. So
yeah, I know you want A&M to win this one, but who do you think's going to win that?
I think I would go with Notre Dame, and I usually never go with Notre Dame on anything because I hate the Notre Dame hype more than anything. Notre Dame's one of those teams college football wants to be good. Notre Dame's made like being in the college playoff scenarios more than they should have. I don't think they should have been there when they were. I don't think they should have played Alabama the year in the national championship they did. So college football begs teams to be good, certain teams to be good, and Notre Dame's one of those teams.
Yeah,
Rudy rules. Okay, so you shut your mouth about Notre Dame.
Hey,
I'd lay my jersey down for that Hobbit motherfucker any day.
For Rudy.
Samwise.
Yeah, for Samwise.
That's right.
I think I'm gonna say Notre Dame, that just because there's too much unknown about Texas A&M.
Yeah, I'd be scared.
Nothing that makes me feel safe about picking them.
What do you think Monday, Boston College, Florida State?
I'm gonna go Boston College.
That's a big one too, because Florida State's ranked 10th still.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that's fine. You say, I mean, I'm sure Georgia. I don't know, but I'm sure Georgia Tech's ranked now. I mean, for them to only drop five, see, there's another team that the college wants to be good. Florida State.
yeah.
Uh, you know, it again. So
Well,
BC, and
well,
now it's in Florida. It's at Florida State. That's the one piece I could see hurting against. If it was if it was at BC, man, I'd go Boston
if
College
it
all
was
day. I
in
don't know,
BC, it would be kind of easier to say Boston College.
but no, I like that
Florida
pick.
State. I mean, Florida. It's all. If Florida State is any chance of being in the playoffs, then obviously they got to win this. And if Florida State's as good as college football wants them to be, then they'll bounce back and have a huge week. I mean, if they're going to win, I think they're going to win easier. I think
45
it's
to nothing.
yeah. I think it's going to be a big win. But Boston College is always that team that plays tough, like always plays the good teams in the ACC tough. So
Yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. That's another USC LSU. I think we all think LSU is going to win. We're going to find out a lot about both teams, but
yeah,
LSU should win that game.
that's
We don't know
coming.
anything about USC this year, losing the Seattle Kraken quarterback Caleb Williams
Kevin,
this past year.
Kevin, I
Understood.
can barely tell where your tank top ends and your skin begins.
That's not a surprise. It was
You
hot today.
son, Jesus Christ!
It was hot today. It was a brutal heat today. Oh
It's
man,
been a brutal week out there. Good. Have
my
mercy.
gosh, it has been. But today was awful. But yeah, it's actually a good point. You really cannot tell until you see tan line come out. Then
Oof, that's bright.
it's very bright, but it's actually still tan. Uh, yeah, dude. I mean, that's it. That's it. But it's how exciting is it to be talking about college football?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it, James, while it's here because you blink and it's gone.
That's what they say about childhood.
That's kind of true, but football for real. If you blink and that shit's gone. All of a
And
sudden,
then it just comes right back as soon as you blink again. It seems like
no, the wait for college football is longer than the season for me.
I don't know. It's like 2 weeks for me. I'm like,
Yeah,
holy shit, it's back. That was
the
quick.
way and yeah, that's the piece too that I'm excited about because last year, I mean, it was tough. I was busy. This year will be one of the first years I get to enjoy the college football experience in a long time. Because as long as, I mean, up until a few years ago, as long as you've known me, Joe, and even James too, like I'm working on college football Saturdays.
Yeah,
Right now, past couple of years, I've been able to watch it and get better. This year, I look forward to actually, man, I don't know, sit on my couch all day.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I take college football Saturdays serious. I have a 35-gallon beer dispenser up there that I'm filling up in the morning first thing. I've got 2 rack of ribs thawing out right now. I'll be grilling ribs. I'll be making twice baked potatoes. I mean, I go all out. I mean, it's gonna be just me starting to drink in the morning with the Georgia kickoff, which I don't know why that's the best game of the day, probably, and has that crazy early kickoff. But
Nap time at
11
1:30 in
a.m.
the
That's a
afternoon.
weird one. Yeah, that's
have
just.
time by 11.
But yeah,
But
Start
dude, that's how
drinking
I
at
am with
8.
NFL. I mean,
yeah,
that's how I'm with NFL. I'll get that way. But college, I look forward to maybe transition that. I'll watch all the games. Obviously, know a lot about it, but you know,
I just love it. I mean, I'll be eating chips, salsa. I grill every Saturday, brisket, ribs, steaks. I mean, I'm going to be doing something every Saturday. And that's just like, this is when I would assume my wife hates me because it's like if she wants to do something on Saturday, she's just fucked. Like I'm staying at home. She has to plan around football season and she hates it. She has to plan shit on bye weeks because she knows I'm just going to be watching college football.
That's depressing.
wow.
That's sad as shit.
Hey, it's part of it. And you know what's weird is the CBS game, the 2:30 CBS game is Akron, Ohio State. I just noticed that it's random, but it's not an SEC team.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That agreement end or something.
Maybe they had a 1 week extension they had to do. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, because I mean, there's SEC games. I mean, like Miami, Florida would have been a easy choice, right? Or anything at 2:30. But
You would think so. I mean, I thought that the Georgia Clemson game would have been an obvious choice. I wonder
that's at
because
11.
that's
That's
such
at
an early
11.
game. That's an early game.
Yeah, that's really weird. That game shouldn't have been 11 o'clock. I
I don't
don't
know
think.
if they were like, this is how we want to kick off college Saturdays with a big game, or if it was just because it's ACC, SEC, and that's just what they came to agreement on. But I thought that would have been a night game.
I don't know. Yeah, or they even the 2:30 game. But yeah, there's something that's weird. I just noticed that, and that doesn't really, not necessarily relevant to what we're talking about. But somewhat, Akron and Ohio State's a 2:30 CBS game. I don't know if that maybe that agreement ended. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I didn't even know that.